An employee, after working for 20 years in the city, felt it was time to retire and go home. Then, he went to the boss where he worked. "You have worked in this place for 20 years well. Now, I want to ask if you want 20 years of retirement money or 3 pieces of advice from me?" asked his boss. The employee thought for a moment and then chose to seek 3 pieces of advice from his boss. First advice: don't ever want to look for shortcuts. Nothing is easy and free in this world. Do things gradually, steadily and independently. Second advice: for something that is not good, don't put deep curiosity, because it could take your life. Third advice: don't make any decisions when you're emotional, because this will make you regret it for the rest of your life. Then the boss gave some money and 3 loaves of bread, and ordered, "The biggest loaf is eaten with the family when they get home." The next morning, the employee said goodbye and started his journey back to his hometown. When he arrived at a village, he asked the people he met, which way was the closest to get to his hometown. "The smaller road is closer," answered person A. "The main road is safer," answered person B. Because he wanted to get home quickly, he chose the small road. Only halfway through he ran into someone else. Apparently on that small road a lot of robbers. The man also remembered his superior's advice. He returned again through the main road. He was so hungry he devoured the first bread given by his superiors. It was night. The man decided to stay at an inn. That night he heard a woman's voice crying. At that time he remembered the second piece of advice from his boss, so he discouraged him from going out to see what was going on. He also ate the second piece of bread in his room. The next morning when he woke up, the villagers were surprised and asked the man, "Are you still alive? Last night there was a mad woman who lured guests out and then killed them. Thank goodness you didn't leave the room." When he got home at night, he secretly wanted to surprise his wife. Then he entered the room. How surprised he saw a man sleeping with his wife. His emotions overflowed and he took a machete to kill the man. But he remembered the third piece of advice from his superiors. He then discouraged, and sleep outside. The next day, his wife woke up to find her husband sleeping outside. How happy, and he called the man who accompanied him to sleep while his husband was not at home. "Come here, son, your papa is home." How surprised the man was that the man sleeping with his wife was his own biological child. His wife said, "When you left, I was already pregnant. I haven't been able to reach you all this time." Then he hugged his son with emotion and shed tears because he almost killed his own son if he didn't remember his superior's advice. While telling at length about his superior's experience and advice, the man remembered the large bread that must be eaten at home. After opening the bread, it turned out that inside was his pension money for the 20 years he had worked. Behind the story, there is a message that we must remember. That everything must be decided in a calm state and think long and hard about everything. Thus our life will be full of peace and happiness.